If you like software educational content like this, please support the channel. You can do so by liking and subscribing. Your support is appreciated. Please leave a comment if you have any questions as well, and I will do my best to answer them. In the last video, we started talking about sculpting. In this video, we will look at brush settings. So let's go ahead and delete the cube. Add a UV sphere with Shift-A, and then switch the sculpting layout. And each mode and brush has unique brush settings. But there is also a lot of overlap or similar settings. Clicking through a few of them, we can see how the settings are laid out. Let's take a look at the radius first. This option controls the size of the brush measured in pixels. F allows you to change the brush size interactively. We saw how to do this in the last video. Remember, you can left-click or right-click to confirm the size or cancel it. You can also enter the size numerically with the number keys. I will type 50 in here and left-click, and you will see the size change. The size can be decreased, increased using the left and right bracket keys respectively. Speaking of size, if you do happen to have a tablet, depending on if your tablet has pressure sensitivity, you could actually press harder or lighter to inflate or deflate the vertices. Brush size can be affected by enabling the pressure sensitivity icon, if you are using a graphics tablet. If we look to the right of the brush size, we can tick whether we want to use size pressure. And to the right of that, we can use unified radius if we want. This will use the same brush radius across all brushes. You can see that if we chose a different brush, the size sticks across each one. Then we have the radius unit sculpt mode. This just controls how the brush radius is measured. With view, the radius is measured based on how the cursor appears on the monitor, i.e., screen space. And with scene, the radius is measured based on real-world units. This means that the brush radius stays consistent, independently of zooming in and out in the viewport. The unit type and scaling can be configured in the scene units. Next, we have the strength of the brush. For painting brushes, the opacity of the paint will increase or decrease. For sculpting brushes, on the other hand, the strength relates to how strong each step of the stroke is, resulting in a slower, faster buildup towards the full brush effect during the stroke. Again, if you press Shift-F, you can adjust this interactively with the mouse. And like with the radius setting, you have these two icons over here. They do the same things. With brushes like the paintbrush, which you can access quick with Shift Space and then Control 2, you can set the way the color or value is applied over the targeted color attribute, vertex group, or image texture. We will look at blend modes more in depth in a later video. Going back to the draw brush at the top, we have direction control. When said arm is clicked, it raises geometry towards the brush, and when subtract yarn is clicked, it lowers geometry away from the brush. This setting can be toggled with Ctrl while sculpting. Next is normal radius sculpt mode. This determines the ratio of how much the brush radius is used to sample the normal direction of the sculpt plane of the brush. For example, a smaller, normal radius will lead to drastic changes in the brush orientation, like for following the contours of hard surface meshes more closely. A large normal radius will lead to smoother changes in orientation, like for building overall forms on organic sculptures. Then area radius, which is the ratio between the brush radius and the radius that is going to be used to sample the area plane depth. And hardness, which is how close the brush fall-off starts from the edge of the brush. And lastly, for this brush, we have auto smooth. This sets the amount of smoothing to be applied to each stroke. That's all we are going to look at for this video. You will notice that if you click around, you will see many more brushes with more settings. We will cover more in the next video. We hope to see you in that one. Thanks for making it all the way through the video. If you enjoy software educational content like this, please be sure to support the channel by liking and subscribing. Please leave a comment with your thoughts as well. See you in the next one.